Yo, this is Brandon. This is WIKD Motorsports. It's snowing.
No, literally, my truck is staying here. There's no way I'm driving this home. Oh, shit. E-brake. There's no way I'm driving my truck home.
A little close to that fence.
I'm actually...
Oh, then we'd have really big snowflakes.
Yeah.
Shit.
Hit it.
Hi.
Hey. Good, Jack.
You're gonna have to try.
Yeah. He's like, nope. Nope. Look.
Oh no!
He's gonna hit the truck.
But there goes Adam's mirror again.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's ever driven in the snow.
Oh. I'm not even trying to do that.
Just make it right there and you'll be good. Pulling the truck.
Stuck. I went straight over there and I was like, nope, this is not gonna work at all. I hope it's not mine.
Oh, Jack's going.
They run into each other.
I don't have my phone, but I know we're gonna go.
Bro. Oh yeah.
Coming in hot. Oh my god. We need to stop. We need to stop.
Oh,
Oh, he's got it full wheel now.
Goes through the fence. Oh yeah.
Alright, here goes
Okay,
Jack.
he's getting a little break. Please run into each other.
That would be awesome. There we go. Oh, he's got
That's what we're talking about. There you go. That's it right there, dude.
This is like actual snow though. Like this isn't the shit that we usually get. I don't do it. You've probably got enough microplastics in your balls as it is.
Whoa.
What's going on?
Happy New Year.
Adam, what's happening?
Well, I'm just checking things, make sure everything sounds good.
Cool.
All good.
Is it actually?
Yeah, it's
No
great.
pops? No pops?
Yeah, break it in.
Pop some bangs.
Well, it's not popping back through the intake like it was before.
So was that being caused by basically if the push rod is too long, it's holding the intake valve open too long, and that's allowing exhaust gases to escape into the intake valve? Okay.
So basically, it was coming up through the supercharger and then out the intake.
So it
And
was
then that's
going
the
the
popping
wrong
that we were hearing in the intake.
Basically, exhaust gas is going the wrong way.
Combustion.
Combustion.
Yeah, I mean, I think that noise, most of the noise we're hearing is just the backlash of the blowers, of the blower gears.
Because once you idle it up, that goes away.
Yeah. I think it's like you said, it's just the backlash. Because we used to hear them a lot on the couplers that are like the two, the 3-finger ones, you know?
Well, and
and they
apparently-
do this shit a lot.
Apparently, he rebuilt the whole thing whenever he ported it. He does a rebuild and he does the port job on it.
Yeah, so it just might just be
So if he put new
backlash on it.
couplers on it, then that would make
But
sense.
it does sound weird that, like, for some reason we hear more exhaust coming out of the primaries on that side than this side. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't notice that.
Right? Like, you
Yeah.
know, the
No, I noticed the tone was different.
You know, the
between
ting
two
of the
sets.
exhaust going through the
He's a
primary.
car doctor.
It sounded like it was more on that side and this side, but it might just be because this one's
Matt,
What?
Compacted.
Matt, you look like an anxious parent that was like waiting for the bird.
Oh, just until I feel comfortable knowing that everything is good, then I'll relax. But on a fresh build, I'm always that way.
No, I don't blame you.
What is this?
Especially when like
Car
Oh,
doctor.
there we go.
Car doctor.
The doctor is in.
Dr. Hot Rod.
we call him the car proctologist.
No, but that's
Okay, so Adam, looks like progress in some areas, backwards in some other areas, but I see the Kirky seat is in.
Kirky seat is finally in. We had to do a little bit of readjustment on their construction to make it fit the cage, just because it wasn't quite intended for any other seat than factory for this cage. So a little bit of changes, but it's in solid mounted now. We're waiting on a couple parts as far as rear seat support that's NHRA approved. And then nitrous bottle installs. We got a hangers. We're going to hang it from the rear roll cage area. And,
So we're actually changing the way our
they were
nitrous
mounted
bottles
to
mounted?
they were mounted to the floor of the trunk area.
Oh.
But now they're going to be
Okay.
hung by the roll cage.
Okay.
And then it's going to be disassembly.
Yeah, so yeah, going backwards a little bit. Hood's gone. You had mentioned something about a lot of the drivetrain coming out. Why would transmission probably.
But then getting prepped for double the horsepower that we're currently running.
It's gonna be pretty wild. So we're obviously going to a different motor. Have we made any progress on what motor? Have we decided what motor we're gonna run, or?
Yeah, I believe what we're going to do, we're going to get away from the stock control system, so getting out of the LT just because of the fact that it doesn't have as much support and testing on such high horsepower. We're going to go back to a more reliable LS platform to put in this to get up closer to 2,500 horse. And then keeping it still Pro Charge and just going to a race Pro Charge system.
So is the LT a little bit less reliable for power at the moment because the added complication of the variable valve timing that it has?
I mean, a lot of that is eliminated anyway, even on this vehicle, it's this motor here particularly. But also the fact that there's a lot more history and backing and testing in LS. Okay. As far as people building race formats, the LS still has a lot more history on it, so
Is
it's
there
a
a
more reliable aftermarket build.
Is there a significant architectural difference between the LT and the LS?
Not from a fundamental standpoint.
didn't
From upgrades, the heads. But the majority of it. The aftermarket, as far as the new LS Next blocks, Next 2 blocks, any of the aftermarket engine companies making their blocks, billet stuff. There's a lot more coverage for LS still than there is LT. They haven't ventured quite into that yet. A couple people have, but everybody's still building that kind of horsepower. It's still in the LS area.
Gotcha. So with the power goal that we're trying to achieve, how are we going to do that fuel-wise? I mean, obviously we're not doing that on 93. Are we going to be shooting for are we going to be using C16? Are we going to go?
We haven't entirely discussed what fuel we're going to be running, but I'm going to venture to say we'd like to get it in just an ethanol, whether it be 85 or more ethanol content. I don't think we want to run full methanol, even though in the classes we're shooting for, you can run methanol. There's no fuel restriction. But as far as availability, cost, and being able to actually run it as much as we need to or want to, we'd like to still stay relatively inexpensive in fuel. Methanol just isn't quite there.
Gotcha. So is there a reason for going for a more alcohol based as opposed to just a gasoline base?
That's just going to help us a lot more with detonation, running a cooler charge if we're going to be running it hot at all. Especially if we're going to be going to a larger displacement engine, you're going to have thinner walls to transfer more heat. So the engine's inevitably going to make more heat and be hotter. So having a cooler fuel on ignition is beneficial in all ways.
That makes sense.
As far as also making more power once you're, you know, pumping that much extra fuel in there.
Right.
Per, you know, Stoich, you know.
Right.
It's gonna be more power just regardless.
Well, you actually mentioned something really important. You mentioned detonation. That actually seems like a really good segue to go a little bit more depth into fuel and talk about detonation, octane ratings, all that stuff. So let's actually go to the parts room and have a chat about that.
What are you doing?
Research. Then you got alternative fuels. Okay, those are fuels that like Nu Metal, Linkin Park, bands like that. Fuel is kind of a complicated thing. There's a lot of different types of it because there's a lot of different applications for it. But the chances are that if you're clicking on this video, you're interested in the same application that we are, and that's racing. Now, the most common word you've probably heard used in relation to fuel is octane. And it's pretty simple, right? More octane equals more race car. And while that correlation certainly seems to exist, when you're choosing one of the hundreds of proprietary blends to tune your race car on, you should probably kind of know what octane is and how it works. So what is octane? Octane is one of the hydrocarbons that makes up gasoline. The reason that octane specifically is important is because octane is the hydrocarbon that's related to detonation resistance. Basically, the higher the octane content, the more detonation resistant the fuel is. And that becomes increasingly more important as the car gets more and more powerful. Now, detonation is the uncontrolled combustion of the air-fuel mixture inside the chamber, usually towards the end of the compression stroke of the engine's rotation cycle. Pre-ignition, on the other hand, is when the air-fuel mix ignites prior to the firing of the spark plug. Now, the octane rating on gas pumps is actually what's referred to as AKI, or anti-knock index. And the anti-knock index is the average of two other numbers, motor octane number and the research octane number. Your research octane number is the combustibility of fuel at a low speed and low temperature, whereas the motor octane number is the combustibility of the fuel at a high speed and a high temperature. So if your RON is 108 and your MON is 95.2, then your AKI is going to be 101.6.
So the AKI is the number octane that you should be using in your vehicle?
No. In the world of racing, octane rating is only one part in choosing which blend is right for you in your application, which is why there's so many different blends of fuel. One of the other options that you need to think about is whether or not the fuel is oxygenated. Oxygenated fuel is exactly what it sounds like. It's fuel that has oxygen added to it. This leans out the mixture, allowing for a cleaner, more consistent burn. It also allows you to add more fuel, which then translates to more power. And this effect is even more exaggerated on boosted cars, which is why it is crucial that you pick the right fuel for your setup. For instance, we carry a number of different VP racing fuels for a number of different applications, like C16, which is great for boosted cars, or basically any car that's under a 17:1 compression ratio. T2, which is basically a premix of 40:1 for 2 strokes. Q16, which is great for boosted applications and is highly oxygenated. X85 is effectively E85, but I'm pretty sure it's C16 as the base. I could be wrong there though. And then MS109, which is for naturally aspirated cars with a basically 13:1 compression ratio or under, or even boosted cars that are at 25 PSI or under. So hopefully that helps you guys. There's a ton more information out there about fuel. It's an unbelievably complicated topic, but hopefully you got some good information out of this. And if you want your car tuned on any kind of exotic racing fuel, let us know. We can do it. I want to see this thing go.
Me too. How long until it goes?
About 3 hours probably.
Just gotta line up some stuff.
Line up stuff and then it goes.
There's a rotor cap in this. Yeah, the shelf.
What all have we identified that's wrong with this thing? Like, so I know the fuel system was pretty herp-derped up, but like how so?
Just how they tied the system in, how they're getting the fuel, like tapping into the sides of the fuel tank for the feed and return.
Yeah, so this isn't like a bespoke dual pump setup. It's a factory setup that they basically put another pump along with.
So it's 2 separate systems running side by side.
Yeah, actually, you were showing me back here. he was talking about, so when he was talking about the tapping into this is how they did it. I don't know if you can really see down there, but they basically just drilled a hole in the tank. And then,
Wait, where?
see down there where the green is? The light with the 90 degree going into it? Yeah. Do they have, is there a filter on that side at all?
Yeah, there's an inline filter.
Okay.
There's I think it's a 10 micron inline filter.
Well, and I imagine hopefully they've got a sock on the pump.
Hopefully. No, it's a externally mounted fuel pump.
Oh, yeah, duh, it doesn't have a basket. Yeah. Probably not how we would do it.
No.
So, are we going to redo it all from scratch, or?
Eventually.
Okay.
For right now, we're just trying to get everything lined out, make sure all the nuts and bolts are tight, make sure everything's working properly as it sits in the car. So finish out any plumbing, finish out any wiring, repair whatever's been messed with, correct whatever issues we find, and then just make it sure that it's going to be reliable, dependable. He can take the track and thrash on it. He can enjoy the car, but it's not going to leave him stranded, broke down, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Unless he himself breaks it.
Yeah.
But
It do be like that sometimes. But this is a certifiable, like this is a, like high 8, low 9 second car?
yes,
So-
he's made multiple passes with this car where it's been low 9s, high 8s, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
He's raced it at Texas 2K. He does all kinds of different racing events with it. So
Well, this car also has a really cool story to it, but we'll save that for later because obviously I would like to talk to him and make sure he, hopefully get the owner to come and talk to us about this car because well, basically it's hand controlled. So rather than using its pedals, he has hand controls for it, and the story behind that is extremely cool. So I would really love for him to talk to us about it. And but first and foremost, he hasn't driven this car in 2 years because of all of the mess. So we want to get the car back to him so he can do the things with it that makes us all love cars to begin with.
yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yeah, we checked out the valve train. Went ahead and put the valve covers back on. We pulled the rails to check out the injectors, see what they were. Got that all checked out. Got the fan net back in. Got it out of the way just to evaluate everything. Got it back in. So now we're kind of going back together, figuring out what parts we're going to need to go ahead and get this thing all finished up and get it back to the owner.
Cool. Oh, yeah. What's up, guys? It's Aiden. I'm usually behind the camera. We're coming to the end of the episode, and I'm out front of WIKD right now, and I just want to show you guys something really quick before we end it. Something really cool that we brought to PRI, and we haven't really shown it yet.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Not playing with our model cars.
Which one were you playing with?
The CLK GTR.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite? Bad question.
depends on the day. The ones we have here, it's either going to be the CLK GTR or the F1.
Cool.
Just can't argue with them.
So I was telling them we built this crazy wall, and now it is in our lobby. We used it for
PRI wall?
PRI.
Yeah. No, I'm glad we ended up putting this up in the lobby. I was kind of secretly hoping we would. The downside, it means that we're going to have to build another one to take to PRI and other trade shows in the future, but I think it's totally worth it. But it's also easy for me to say because Adam's the one that has to build it. So yeah, it's cool having all of our exhausts on display. So like over here we got like the Huracan, STO, Evo, the Performante, and then of course we got our Huracan headers. This is our 458 stuff here. So exhaust is valved mufflers, of course little centerpieces up there, McLaren 570S stuff, an assortment of tips which are universal, but we also do have a couple that are specific to the C8 Z06. And then of course over here we got our Z06 downpipes and then our regular Huracan exhaust. And there's going to be more of added to it over time, which is why there's a little bit of space, a little bit of room to work. But how cool would it be if we also then ended up eventually transforming that wall into like another exhaust wall, but we'd have to move the TV somewhere.
What if we integrated the TV
TV like right in the middle of it.
between the walls.
Oh yeah, like wall and exhaust just all around it.
The wicked wall.
Yes. The wicked.
Wait, what is
wall.
over here? Oh,
Oh yeah.
our
this
cool
is the,
merch.
merch, but also this is our a B58 intake manifold. So that's for like the Mark V Supras, and there's a few BMWs that use the B58. Steve, off the top of my head, I don't remember which ones exactly. No.
He can tune that out.
It goes on some BMWs in the Supra. So yeah, this is probably my favorite piece.
So, coming to the end of the episode, have any parting words?
Yeah, why would you ask me anything about BMWs? I'm an Audi guy.
That's true.
He is the Audi
Steve
guy.
is our resident Audi guy. Parting words.
Words of inspiration.
Buy our exhaust.
Yes. Come see the Wicked Wall of Wonders. It's pretty cool. Adam built it in like 2 days. I don't know how he did it. He's a madman, that's why. So, yep.
Extremely easy to assemble once it was constructed.
Like once you were
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
we're at PRI. It went together very well.
Yeah. And originally it did have like the CT5V like strut brace kind of as the base. I wish it was still on there because it was kind of funny. It was like a little Easter egg. But yeah, we had to refit it and repurpose it for our lobby, which looks awesome. So if you ever come in, take a look at the Wicked Wall. Also,
Yeah.
don't forget to like and subscribe.
Do that for more wicked walls.
All right, bye.